We are living through an incredible technological gold rush, all powered by artificial intelligence. Fortunes are being made at a pace that's just staggering. But here's the big question. Is this boom built on a solid foundation, or is it maybe the greatest gamble in modern history? Let's dive in and break it down.
Okay, look at this number, $975 billion. It's a figure so massive, it's almost hard to wrap your head around it. But that number, it's the key to understanding the insane scale of what's happening with AI right now.
Yep, you're seeing that right. Analysis from Deloitte shows that the global chip industry is on a rocket ship, set to hit nearly $1 trillion in sales by 2026. This isn't just your standard growth. We're talking about a historic peak, and it's being fueled almost entirely by one thing, this unprecedented AI boom.
But, and this is a huge but, hidden inside all that incredible growth is a real tension. Deloitte actually calls it a high-stakes paradox, because while the money is pouring in and the market is soaring, the entire industry is basically placing one gigantic, concentrated bet on AI. And a bet that big, well, it comes with some serious risks.
So first, let's just get a feel for the sheer speed of this gold rush. The numbers are frankly mind-boggling, and they show an industry where value and power are getting concentrated into just a few hands at an unbelievable pace.
I mean, just check out the speed of this growth. The market cap for the top 10 chip companies shot up 181% in only 2 years, hitting $9.5 trillion. But here's the real kicker. A whopping 80% of that value is held by just the top 3 companies. 80%?
And you can see exactly where all that money is coming from. By 2026, chips made specifically for generative AI are expected to bring in about half of all industry revenue. That's nearly $500 billion. But that even split you see in the revenue, well, it hides a massive, massive imbalance in what's actually being produced.
And this is what brings us right to that paradox we were talking about. The industry's incredible growth, it's all balanced on a razor's edge, a foundation that's extremely valuable, yeah, but also incredibly narrow, and maybe even a little fragile.
This right here, this is the heart of the paradox. Those super valuable AI chips that are driving half the industry's money, they make up less than 0.2% of the total number of chips actually being sold. I mean, think about that for a second. It's like if the entire global car industry depended on just the sales of a few thousand hypercars. It's a huge, profound structural divergence.
And when you have a situation like that, it creates these big, systemic risks. I mean, what if it takes way too long to actually make money from all these huge AI investments? What happens if our power grids simply can't handle the 92 gigawatts of new energy that data centers are going to need? Or what if the next generation of chips comes along and makes today's fantastically expensive ones obsolete overnight? The whole thing is pretty vulnerable.
But, the risk isn't just about money. There's a deeper, more fundamental threat brewing here, and it's one that could affect not just the AI boom, but the entire ecosystem that makes all this technological progress even possible to begin with.
This is a pretty stark warning from Stanford University's Emerging Technology Review, and it really gets to the heart of the problem. You see, for decades, universities have been that engine of basic research, the place where the seeds for future breakthroughs are planted. But today, that engine is seriously sputtering. So while the US is kind of harvesting the innovations from research that was done decades ago, it's not really planting for the future at the same pace. And meanwhile, China is investing heavily. Their spending on basic research is rising 6 times faster than in the US. If that trend continues, they're on track to overtake the US by 2030.
And at the exact same time, we're seeing this massive talent migration. Over 70% of AI PhDs from US universities are now going straight into private industry. It's a brain drain, and it leaves fewer top minds in academia to teach the next generation and to do that crucial fundamental research. And the reason for this migration really comes down to scale. So Princeton recently made headlines for buying 300 advanced AI chips, which for a university is a huge deal. But in that same period, Meta announced it was planning to buy 350,000 of those same chips. There's just no way a university can compete with that level of investment. And what that does is it concentrates all the cutting-edge research inside the walls of just a few giant corporations.
So this new reality is forcing pretty much everyone, nations and corporations, to adapt. A whole new global race is on, and it's redrawing the map with new business models and new supply chains, all designed for this new AI-first world.
One of the most fascinating things to come out of this is what some people are calling circular financing. Here's how it works. A big tech company invests billions in a hot AI startup. Then, that startup turns around and uses the money to rent computing power right back from the very company that just invested in them. It's this perfect closed loop that just makes the big infrastructure players even more powerful.
The global supply chain is getting a major shakeup too. A totally new division of labor is popping up. You've got regions like Southeast Asia and India focusing on the high-volume final assembly and testing part, and then you have the US, Taiwan, Japan, and Europe specializing in what's called advanced packaging. That's the super complex process of bundling all these high-performance parts into a single powerful AI chip.
So, okay, with all of these pieces moving around, you've got the market paradox, the innovation crisis, this new global race. What should we actually be watching for? Well, the next few years are really going to be defined by a handful of critical questions.
All right, so here are the signposts for the future. Are we going to see new competitors actually manage to challenge the current AI chip giants? Could the memory market, which is famous for its boom and bust cycles, create another supply glut? And maybe most importantly, can our national power grids actually support this massive new demand from AI? After all, none of this works if you can't plug it in.
And really, all of this leads to the final crucial question. This AI boom isn't just about cool new tech. It's a massive realignment of both economic and geopolitical power. The chips, the talent, the computing resources, the capital, it's all concentrating. So the real question for the future is this. In this new world we're building, who is ultimately going to be holding the levers of power?